and welcome to Shows to Astonish. I am your host, the FAT Mantis, and today I'm going to be reviewing Raised by Wolves, Season 1 Finale, Episode 10. That's right, the thing we've been waiting for this whole time. Now, I just want to say, please pardon my appearance. You know, I've been having a rough couple of days, so, I've decided to, I've decided not to care, is where that is headed. But anyway, let's get into it. So first, we start off with Marcus getting up, and Marcus begins his hallucinating thing. And as adorable as Marcus is, we love him for many things. The thing I dislike him the most about is hallucinations. It is the weakest form of narration trick I've ever seen, and this show does it too often. I'm really hoping they abandon this trope by season 2, but he sees all sorts of images and basically things we're going to see later on anyway, so it's almost a waste of time. Now, moving on to Exodus. That's right, our family needs to find a manger, if you will, so that the virgin birth can take place. And Paul, who seems to be the knower of things, doesn't want them for some reason to go to the tropical zone. Now, they've been in the crap zone, or the crags or the mountains, or I don't know what it is. It's just a nasty area, and you'd think anyone would want to go to the tropical zone, but why not? And we're going to get into that a little later on. So moving on to Mother. Mother apparently has what is known in vernacular as pregnancy brain. That's right. She is both overjoyed and happy that she is pregnant and that a baby is coming. She's humming, she's singing, she's just super protective. She's on cloud 9, but also is completely absent-minded to the point where she doesn't even understand how to gauge other people's emotions about the scenarios. And she needs Sue to kind of lead her the way, to explain to her why both her husband and her son are having issues with her, which is going to lead us into the lovers' quarrel. Now, I absolutely love this. Father is amazing, and I'm so glad that he's not willing to just be the cuck, if you know what I mean. You would think that he would. I was even wondering if androids would be jealous if you're having a baby with another. I mean, maybe they're polyamorous, I don't know. But apparently, Father is not, and I'm glad he didn't just take it. He stood up to his wife, and they had serious, serious words. I loved it that it devolved into this situation where another great android metaphor happens here, where Father wants to delete all his memories of her, and he believes that because she's such a wretched person, the new version of him won't even have any feelings for her. Essentially, having android divorce. It's amazing work. Eventually, Mother, while looking down a pit, gets attacked by what apparently they have figured out is a de-evolved human. They have ascertained that the creatures on this planet are all de-evolved things from Earth. Primarily, the bipedal creatures were all once human, once upon a time, but turned into these wretched creatures. It makes a cringe scenario about what they eat to survive. However, my argument is it is alright to eat de-evolved human because they are no longer a human. And all the animals that we eat, and my lovely steak is a de-evolved something, right? Maybe in the far future, the cow will speak, but today, the cow is my dinner. I'm into it. So I don't think anyone should have to worry about what they're eating on that planet, So we're getting a few more hints as to what this planet is, and even Father brings up the idea that there is something strange about the origin of this planet, which I'm sure Season 2 is gunning for. I think now we're going to go into actually, what is going on the planet. Almost as if Season 1 was all just a setup for a Season 2 explainer. This has all been set up, and it's been a lovely setup. I've loved every episode thus far. Now it brings us to virgin birth. Mother wanders into one of the caves because she's hearing things like a woman with pregnancy brain would, and it leads us to where we actually see the dodecahedron and the alien creature from her vision in last episode. Now, this is a situation where I'm not going to bring up the scoreboard because I was very, very wrong. That creature is not the god of the planet. It does not dwell into the giant dodecahedron, and she is not having the Messiah. So I was misled. I think everyone else was misled, and I was pleasantly misled. You know what I mean? Like, it was a lie, but it was a fun lie. You feel anything on this one? So she goes there, and what it apparently was is that that is a prison for an android. And the android had the helmet on, and it looks almost like it has a birthing canal in its mouth for what we're about to see. And Mother finally goes through her birth. When this birth took place, I did not believe it was actually happening. The show relies on visions and cryptic messages so often. I assumed she was dreaming or hallucinating, and it took me a while. It was easily 10 minutes that I was like, this is not happening. And it was horrific to watch that. And she played up the shame so well. That actress is so good who plays Mother. I was disgusted at every minute of it. And this giant snake creature comes out of her mouth. I can't believe the show went there. For a little while, I was taken out of the show, and I was like, if this is really happening, I think I might quit the show. I was that disgusted. However, they pull it off in the end. So Mother finds herself distraught and distracted, and she needs to get rid of this thing, which clearly has necromantic powers. It can fly. It can probably create the bronze skin that makes it bulletproof, and it can probably do all sorts of things like a sonic screen or whatnot. It appears that the creature is at the early stages one of those giant snakes that we've seen all around. Now, I don't believe the normal snakes can actually fly. I think they needed a necromancer to be the mother of it, so that it gains extra powers, because that's why the snakes burrowed all those holes throughout the ground, because they're not non-flyers. This is the king of the snakes, and another thing is clear is that he is the Antichrist. Now, earlier on, I had already surmised that Campion Sturgis, who was speaking to her, didn't talk like Campion, because he was negative about the children. He was negative about humanity. He said humans will replicate the whole thing. They're not worth it. And I said in an early episode of my show that the real Campion would never say that. And it seems to be true. That was not Campion, but an imposter, essentially the devil. And just as God willed his own existence into being in the Bible through Jesus, it would appear that the devil has done it on this planet. We all know Marcus has been endlessly going on about hearing the voice of God, and we know that rapist Otho also thought he was hearing the voice of God. Now, Paul is also hearing the voice of God, and what is going on here? I have a suggestion. I actually believe that this same devil creature who posed as Campion Sturgis and willed the Antichrist into existence was also the voice that affected Otho and Marcus. And it's probably still affecting Marcus. However, I believe Paul is actually hearing the voice of Soul. We can actually believe in the voices Paul is hearing. I think they're flipping the script on us. We're assuming that anytime you hear a voice, it's evil, but I don't think so. I think Paul is being guided by the light, but this show has tricked me before. Who knows that a flying snake baby was coming out? I mean, they're good. I mean, they've been doing that good. So Paul eventually heads into the caves, and this is where we get into suggestions of time travel and other things. The trippy cave paintings depict the story of them, but it also looks as if their story of them is going to return to Earth. It is almost as if a time traveler, someone in the future who has seen all these events, painted the events they're going through now. Could be that, or it could be these things are cyclical. It will happen again. It's happened before, it happened again. They're playing out the events of the Bible, just as the Bible already happened. And there isn't time travel, they're just warning you of the things to come. I'm willing to bet that this planet is some sort of lab. I believe that humans at one point used it as a lab for creating just experiments going on. I bet underneath the earth they're going to find actual labs where they do the de-evolving process and maybe created those snakes in the first place. The reason why this might not be documented in both the atheist or the Mithraic traditions is apparently the society that just destroyed Earth comes from the ashes of our society. And as they said, they don't understand a lot of the technologies that they have. They're ignorant to this because they found it in what they call holy books. Meaning that we destroy our world, maybe we'll have a World War III. So it is very possible that we, before we have our World War III, traveled to Kepler and did experiments on there. And they're still running wild. I still have my money on that the Satan himself, the one doing the things, is a very powerful AI system, and it's probably still in the dodecahedron. Now, so something truly funny arrives back at the Marcus storyline. He finds atheists. He easily kills them, which is ironic considering he is an atheist in disguise, and that's his legion. But he sees a second ark, and it is probably an atheist ark. And how do I know this? It is dingy, it is dirty, it is disgusting, and everything associated with atheists in this show is that imagery. They are dirtbags. It's basically, Oscar the Grouch created a technology and built a society. That's what basically the atheists are. The Mithraics are using an iPhone, and the atheists are using an Android, man. It's actually funny. They tend to be ignorant and foolish, and I am surprised that the atheists know how to fly a spaceship, let alone build one. And finally, Mother and Father, after they ditch the giant growing snake into the tropical zone, they eject and they safely land. However, they are in the dangerous tropical zone that Paul said a voice was telling them they should not go there. It's dangerous. Now, I believe this is going to open the idea for reconciliation. Mother and Father have been through hell. They've had a rough one. And this is going to be like a second honeymoon, or I guess a first, because they probably didn't have one. I don't know if Campion did that with them in the past, but they're going to be survival's going to be based on just them two. They're not going to have the complications of kids or other people in their way, and they're going to work out their issues while they try to travel back to the kids. Now, the kids are left alone. The only parent there is Sue, who is bleeding out. So, I mean, they have set up so many things for next season. I cannot wait. But what do you guys think? What do you think of my theories? Is this some sort of laboratory that an ancient human society created there? Or is this all just about aliens? I don't even know, man. And what is going on with that snake? Please let me know down in the comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Keep tuning in to Voice of the Fat Mantis for more sci-fi analysis, all sorts of shenanigans, fun, and games. Now, please enjoy your fall. Halloween is coming. Oh. Till next time, ciao for now.